Hello everyone. Today is my chance to share a dream that foretold a true event, from '01 The Real Deal, Episode 1. December 1st, 2025 update, from the dream of a very fortunate person. Dream number 1, 7:40 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., 1. I was sleeping in my house, under a large duvet in the master bedroom. Several women came in. I didn't mind. I let them sleep there as long as they wanted. 2. I didn't know what they were doing. I was asleep and sleepy, so I didn't pay attention until I woke up because I felt hot. I pulled back the duvet. 3. Then I looked at the fan. It was angled upwards, blowing air above me. But there was another fan in the room, also angled upwards in a different direction. So I thought, no wonder I'm hot. 4. I got up to adjust the fan to blow downwards towards me. Looking closer, it was a floor fan. I saw another fan angled towards the computer desk. 5. And it looked like someone was sitting and working at the desk in the room with the computer. There were 2 to 3 books on the desk. 6. 2 books, about an inch thick, were stacked on top of each other, with a third book placed diagonally across from the first 2. 7. We looked at the overall view of the room and were surprised that the bed in the middle of the room was now against the wall by the door, leaving a space beside the bed on the foot side that looked like something had been placed there and then removed, a width and length roughly the size of a wardrobe. 8. We then realized that the wardrobe was actually on the headboard side, against the wall, but it was gone, and the bed had moved against the wall. We started to feel suspicious. 9. Then we remembered that the wardrobe had been moved to another room, a room that only had wardrobes for dressing. We climbed onto the bed because we felt that at one point, while we were lying down, people walking past seemed to trip. Almost everyone tripped there. What happened? 10. We went to look at the bed where we were lying. We were standing at the foot of the bed on the right side, looking at the area to our left where people had tripped. 11. We stood on the bed and saw the wooden bed frame. There was a hole, a groove, in the wood that went all the way through to the bottom. 11. The groove was about 1 foot wide because I saw a rectangular tie-style pillow, about 1 foot long, placed in the middle of the gap. 12. The pillow was on top of a doll the same size as the pillow. It was a white doll. I was shocked, thinking, who carved this groove into my bed? And what did they store there while I was sleeping? 13. I got up from my bed, just thinking about how to solve the problem without spending a lot of money, so that I could continue using my bed without the hole. I thought I would take a flat wooden plank and cover the hole, and then I could sleep. Analysis of Dream 1, by a true expert. 1. This dream foretells the future, from the present moment to the future. It's represented by '01 in the dream. 2. In the dream, the place where I'm sleeping, my bed, my home, is like Wat Phra Dhammakaya, where I've been accumulating merit throughout my life. 3. My sleeping is like the people who come to the temple, living their lives normally, as if they are asleep, not awake. This is comparable to the merit makers who come to the temple to accumulate merit. They live like this, as if they are asleep, not being fully awake. 4. There's a feeling of being awake in phases when people come in. Many people come and go. We're half asleep, half awake, without feeling the need to get up and ask who they are or where they came from. We just think, do as you please, don't disturb me. I want to sleep. This is an analogy for the temple attendees who come to accumulate merit. They just want their own convenience without considering the overall picture or what's happening in the temple. 5. Even though we feel people stumbling next to us as they walk onto our bed several times, we just know because we still want to sleep. This tells us that the temple attendees have been told, nudged, and stimulated that there are intruders in the temple where they are accumulating merit. There are people doing things that are damaging temple property, using things in a way that causes harm, and not preserving the place. 6. By the time they realize what's happening, they wake up feeling hot. And the heat is because the fan isn't blowing on us, but on the ceiling, where no one is. This means that by the time the temple attendees realize what's happening, the intruders have already taken everything. They've used the temple and its people to do whatever they want, giving them what they need. They just haven't turned off the fan, because it would make everyone who came to the temple feel hot quickly. They would wake up early and wouldn't be able to finish their work. So they just let the fans run, but not comfortably. The fans running meant there was still electricity, and they were still paying for the electricity. 7. When we came up to turn on the fan and adjust it so we could sleep comfortably, that's when we woke up and noticed something was wrong. It wasn't cool and comfortable, it was hot, so we had to get up to see what was happening. That's what means that it took a long time for people to realize what was happening to the temple. The temple was already hot, so hot that there was no place left to stay and build merit comfortably as before. 8. What we found was a bed with holes drilled in it and things stuffed under it. This reflects that someone is using our temple to store something or hide things they don't want anyone to know about, and what they want to hide must be something evil. 9. Putting things under the bed, destroying the area in front of the bed where those building merits sleep, means that the area of the temple's meditation space is being used for bad things and to hide evil. It is a concealment, a disguise under the use of the space for the well-being of those who seek merit. That is, those who seek merit find happiness when practicing Dharma. Sitting with their eyes closed in the temple area, such as in the assembly hall or any glass room. Below, there is a hiding place for wicked people, using the temple's Dharma practice area as a storage place for all their bad deeds. 10. The rectangular Thai-style pillows, made of Thai fabric, placed on top, reflect the style of pillows used by people in the royal court, or it may mean that those who come to do bad things in the temple are hiding their bad deeds underneath, in this Dharma practice area. They are working according to the orders of people in the royal court. The object under the pillow was a white teddy bear. This signifies the elimination of saints and merit makers, as white teddy bears represent figures of those on the white side or members of the temple. It was hidden under the bed by orders from people in the palace. 12. The bed was moved against the wall, and the wardrobe was removed, now located in another room. This explains the reorganization of Wat Phra Dhammakaya, a complete overhaul of the organization, including the attire of those residing at the temple and those visiting, the style of work, and the changing structure. Therefore, the attire had to be moved to a separate area. 13. The removal of the wardrobe from the meditation area means there are no longer any uniforms or attire for those who will be performing duties related to welcoming devotees during meditation practice. This implies that any volunteers who previously wore uniforms to welcome devotees to the temple will no longer have them. 14. The fact that they were allowed to continue sleeping even though everything had been changed, according to their own desires and plans, meant that by the time those accumulating merit at the temple realized what was happening and began to experience hardship, everything had already been changed and damaged. In summary, this dream, 01, is meant to inform everyone that there are groups of people who have been able to subtly infiltrate the temple, preventing the temple's devotees, both those inside and outside the temple who are asleep from awakening to the truth. These women manage the rooms and meditation halls, organize clothing, and use the temple's belongings. They eliminate temple members who oppose their takeover and hide their wickedness beneath the meditation halls, acting as if they own the temple. These actions are under the orders of someone from the palace, and that person must be a woman. Only one, the purple-clad figure above, whose story aligns with what is happening at Wat Phra Dhammakaya. Besides the temple's founder, outsiders claim to have heard this purple-clad figure personally stating that she owns Wat Phra Dhammakaya, a claim that has been circulating for 3 to 4 years, counting back from 2021-2025. Now, this dream, O1, is a warning. If the people of Wat Phra Dhammakaya still refuse to acknowledge, refuse to wake up, and choose to remain asleep, they should prepare themselves for the trouble that these people have been hiding beneath their surface. Because once they've taken everything they wanted, all that's left is all the evil they've hidden in this area, waiting for the day the temple people will discover it. Then the story will be revealed. The temple will become a major scandal, a big news story, and will be covered up by legal proceedings and litigation related to the deaths. No one will dare visit the temple again if it's discovered that several people who thwarted their attempts to steal have died, and the murderer remains at large. And if it's the work of someone from the palace, do you think anyone will dare catch the murderer? The story will just spread rumors. Anyone who reveals the truth will be silenced by the power of the palace. Those who know the truth won't dare speak it. They think that by not speaking the truth, they will be safe, but no. They will be eliminated one after another to prevent them from speaking again. They will be eliminated together when the palace wants to get rid of them all, whether they know the truth or not. Therefore, it's time. Those who know the truth will question the perpetrators, asking intelligently. Because speaking the truth will lead to being killed. They should plan for themselves to speak lies. The safest method is to question them publicly, widely, online via live stream, with a network to spread the word as far and wide as possible. The more people who know at the same time, the safer you will be when you ask them with pure intentions. Because when people are widely aware, they will start to investigate whether the answers are true or false for themselves. The person you are targeting will not be able to immediately deal with you because you are already in the spotlight. Everyone can see you. If you are eliminated at any point later, everyone will immediately know it was their doing, and it will implicitly confirm that they committed the wrongdoing without them having to admit it. Therefore, they will not dare to do it because it would be like exposing themselves. Therefore, if you know any truth, you must dare to find an opportunity to ask them in front of many people, such as at a large religious event at the beginning of the month that is being broadcast live. You are simply a representative asking a question, not accusing or blaming anyone. Just asking a question to clear up your doubts. You will gain great merit because you have brought about an answer that reveals the truth to people in temples worldwide who have been misled for many years. Whether the answer is true or false from their own mouth, people will immediately be freed from their delusion, even if they don't know if the answer is true or false. They will gain awareness and reflect on what has happened. It will awaken those who are asleep, making them feel a burning sensation and question why they are feeling this way. It's like making the peace-loving temple people feel troubled at the beginning, but once they awaken, they will see the truth themselves. In this way, those of you who dare to ask with a pure heart will not die, because you will immediately gain merit at a top level, which will allow you to follow Luang Pu Saad, Grandmother Chan, and Luang Por Dhamma Cheo to the ultimate attainment of Dharma. You will have a long life because you have helped extend the lifespan of everyone, helped everyone escape delusion, prevented them from dying young due to lack of merit, and extended the lifespan of the Dhammakaya Buddhist teachings for a long time. Because if you help by asking the monks at the temple who are representatives answering questions for the public, you are helping to clarify that Wat Phra Dhammakaya is still a pure place. The people are pure, the Dharma is pure, the place is pure, but is it true or false that there are people with malicious intentions? You will be able to preserve all faith by requesting the return of administrative power to lay people. A new beginning will occur. That is your merit. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. This was recorded on December 1st, 2025. It seems there were people who, out of goodwill, went to inquire about this dream. They simply wanted to know if it was true. It was reported on Tawan News on December 14th. A group went to ask for a microphone to ask questions on a Sunday afternoon. It seems one young person was apprehended without being questioned. He shouted 2 questions about Luangpur Dhamacheo. Is he at the temple? And, I heard the case is closed, but Luangpur 02 didn't close it. Is that true? He only managed to say those 2 sentences. Then, someone took him out of the glass room, detained him, and subjected him to extensive questioning, with police and other personnel involved. This was all reported on Tawan News. It seems there were people seeking the truth who saw this as a reasonable and justifiable action. However, the temple did not cooperate at all. Even when they appeared before Luangpur Dhamacheo, they acted as if they didn't see him. Even when he shouted his questions, everyone heard him. But they acted as if no one suspected or cared, even though what he asked was a proper question and something people should have considered. Because he asked if Luangpur Dhamacheo was at the temple, and why, after hearing that the case was closed, Luangpur didn't go to close it. This is a very important matter. You should be interested in asking if it's true. You should answer if it's true, and explain why it was closed or not. There needs to be an explanation from within the temple. But it seems the temple chose to refuse to answer anything and instead eliminate those who asked. What does that mean? It means the temple's intention is to prevent anyone from knowing anything. They don't want anyone to know about Luangpur's situation. They don't want anyone to know about the case. Is that it? And who is responsible for that? Luangpur is loved by everyone in the world. No one dares to ask, so they're letting anyone deal with Luangpur however they want? This is what has happened in the past. And it seems they have been trying to get the questions until January 1st. 2026, when a group requested permission because the officials said that if you want to ask, you have to properly schedule an appointment with Luangpur according to their regulations. They did so. They sent a letter to their coordinator to contact and schedule an appointment with Luangpur, requesting permission to invite him to give a statement in the glass room after the Buddha's offering ceremony, and to ask questions for him to answer, or if he wouldn't answer. At least they should have given the public an opportunity to know what was happening. But it turned out that arrangements were made to prevent any confirmation of whether or not he would come. However, after the rice offering ceremony was completed, Luangpur 02 was already there. Someone said that he quickly left before the head monk even left the room. This shows that 02 must have known that a sponsor had requested him to answer 3 questions. However, knowing what questions were going to be asked, and that the party asking them did so with pure intentions, they even sent information to the Tawan news station. They explained everything about their pure intentions and how it would benefit the entire temple community. Therefore, the temple must have known what the sponsors' intentions were. In reality, they wanted to help the temple if those issues were real and wanted to participate in solving them, especially since there was a 3rd question they hadn't had a chance to ask yet. It got even worse when, on January 1st, the female sponsor who was going to ask the 3 questions was immediately restrained by the temple's security guards who had been prepared to prevent her from speaking. They grabbed her microphone, broke it, and prevented her from speaking, even though they had prepared everything themselves to prevent her from saying anything. And they tried to drag him out of the glass room. This shows that the temple doesn't want its members to know anything. They don't want the abbot to listen to or answer any questions. Not only that, they don't want the temple members to know anything at all. This clearly indicates that the answer to every question is yes, but because they don't want anyone to know. Because the temple members don't know anything, they can continue to use those who are unaware. They know that if the temple members knew that, 1. Abbot Damacheo is not in the temple, and 2. The case against the abbot was supposed to be closed from October 2023 to April 2024. This information comes from Crew Jude's Facebook page, which openly stated that this is true. Then the refusal to close the case for the abbot is because if it were closed, he would have been released, and it would have been big news. Abbot Damacheo is a worldly figure. Someone everyone wants to admire for his exoneration. Closing the case means there's no basis for prosecution, no wrongdoing whatsoever. The case can be closed now because there's no prosecution. That was the purity and the best news in the world that everyone was waiting for. But the temple chose a method of not keeping it a secret and not telling anyone, making it impossible for the real Luang Por 01 to escape the charges and be cleared of all charges since October 2023. Everyone, think about it. What are the people within the temple doing? They're doing things they know that if Luang Por is acquitted, they won't be able to do those things, right? If Luang Por Damacheo doesn't allow it, it must be evil, right? That's why they have to prevent him from getting out. It's not that Luang Por is in the temple, but he definitely isn't there because he can't. He knows that if he's there, it will cause trouble for everyone. And the reason they can always claim to be with Luang Por is because they know they won't be troubled. If someone breaks in, they won't find Luang Por anyway. But the important thing is how to keep people coming to make merit. So they have to make it seem like Luang Por is still here, still sending out sermons. Even though they're unsigned and are old sermons with new additions by someone unknown. But we all know that the only person with the authority to modify, adjust, or issue Luang Por's answers or orders is the secretary named Tu. There's no one else. He himself was the one who circulated the message saying not to interfere with the abbot's teachings, that no one had the right to do so except him. He had already announced everything. Therefore, anything that came out as teachings related to the abbot or anything similar came from him alone. He wasn't hiding anything, he just wasn't revealing it. But people wanted to believe it was the abbot. So no one questioned him, no one arrested him. It was to reveal to people that, in short, the abbot doesn't really exist, and that they're using fake teachings, that they wrote them themselves. Because if you didn't question him like this, he would continue doing it and would keep deceiving you by claiming to be the abbot. Now, if it were the abbot really encouraging this, it would certainly be meritorious. But now that he's not the real abbot, he's even afraid of the abbot's revelation, which means he's doing something wrong, right? And if he's using temple people and temple money for sinful things, he's afraid the abbot will stop him. It means he's definitely on the side of sin, and what he's encouraging is definitely sinful. That's all. The intention of those who questioned him was to prevent him from continuing his sinful work if he had to answer these questions. But most importantly, the temple staff need to know the truth. Even if they don't admit it, if they know the truth, they won't be used as tools anymore. That's it. The story is that simple. That day, they grabbed the person who was going to ask questions, dragging them away without any regard for the fact that she was a good person, a young woman with a good job, a business owner. Not someone of low status or who had made few donations. She was intelligent and a true follower of the abbot, but she was treated like that without being allowed to say anything. They didn't tell her she had done anything wrong, because they couldn't accuse her of obstructing the ceremony since it was over. They couldn't say she didn't follow procedures, because she had already obtained permission. But if the temple staff didn't submit the documents to the monks themselves, it wasn't her fault. As a sponsor, she had the right to ask for permission. And the temple should have done things correctly, but the temple chose this method. It reflects that the temple lacks standards for caring for sponsors, doesn't care about them, and doesn't care about anything except covering up and concealing things. And the third important point, which wasn't asked, is about the purple-colored higher-ups, and whether it's true that 70% of the donations were taken. This information has been verified. Someone told the truth without question because the person who provided the information was 06 themselves, speaking for others to spread the news through the new group of devotees. He wanted to release the news that way anyway, so that the temple people would find out on their own and wouldn't interfere. He thought that if he claimed to have connections with higher authorities, no one would dare contradict him or question its truth. He believed this could influence even the temple committee. No one wanted to get involved with the power of those in authority. He chose not to get involved, letting them have their way. But he forgot that it's a matter of merit and sin. If you want to do good deeds, you can't do them, you just choose not to. But if you want to do sins, and you choose to ignore them and only do good deeds, the consequences are not what you think. It's dangerous for everyone's cycle of rebirth. The sponsors, unaware of this, will be lured into sin. They are all followers of Luang Pho 1, and will Luang Pho 1 just let sentient beings suffer the consequences of their actions? That's why he's trying to tell everyone. It's not that he hasn't received help or is distressed like this, he simply hasn't been protected or given justice. But it doesn't matter. He can continue to build his merit. The important thing is that everyone is being deceived, with their love for him being the driving force. It makes everyone feel blinded by their love for Luang Por Damajao, preventing them from verifying or using their intellect. They just believe anything he says, anything that resembles him, and are willing to do anything. This is called love blinding people. No one who is loved will be happy when you love them, and others use that love to deceive them, exploiting them for money and labor. Good people suffer when their love is used against them, like a call center scam. This is a very big issue. You can't turn a blind eye. If you don't act and become aware, you will become their tool for deception your entire life. And your life will end quickly because they encourage you to commit sins. You will abandon all your merits. When your sins bear fruit, you will die. They might even kill you prematurely because they want to benefit from you. Because you are Buddhists, behind them is Islam, which views those of other religions who don't support them as enemies. They believe they can kill without sin. This belief makes them see Buddhists as mere objects to be killed whenever they want, to be exploited for whatever they please. I don't dare think about this now, but the consequences keep recurring. This isn't something we could just make up ourselves, so stop speculating. What are you talking about? It's all fiction, a fairy tale, a wild, unreliable dream. It's up to you, though. We're relying on the compassion of O1. He has shown us kindness by allowing us to share this, so we will. We can only tell you, we're not obstructing anyone. But we don't support you being deceived by your love for Luang Por Damacheo any longer. Since he loves his disciple, we love his disciple too. Therefore, we are telling the truth as he wishes. These are just 2 or 3 dreams though. What have you seen so far? Keep following the dreams.
Nitukhaja Nupathawa